Wife acts like a roommate, like she's still there, but she's just not there. And you know the difference. She's making coffee, she's keeping the schedule, she's managing the household, she's doing the things. She's present in the practical sense of the word, but she's not there. Something that used to live in her eyes when she looked at you, that heat, that wanting, the thing that said, I'm yours, quietly left. And you can't name exactly when it happened, you just know it's gone. And you feel it every single day. You lie next to her at night, close enough to touch, and you've never felt more alone in your life. Now, that's not a small thing. That's a specific kind of lonely that hits harder than most because you're not dealing with absence. You're dealing with presence without connection. She's right there and completely out of reach. So here's what most men do with this. They try harder, more effort, more gestures, more working on the relationship, more trying to make her happy. And it doesn't work. If anything, the harder they try, the more distant she seems. Want to know why? Because love and desire are not the same thing. You've been operating on an equation that seems completely logical to you. Loyalty plus commitment plus time equals love, which should equal desire, right? Because you stayed faithful, you worked hard, you provided, you showed up. So in your world, that counts. It counts for something. In your world, that should be enough because it's honorable, every bit of it. But it's not what creates desire. You can't earn attraction. You can't negotiate it. You can't be good enough into being wanted by her. Loyalty is baseline, and desire lives above the baseline. And when you're so focused on maintaining the floor, you never learn how to build what lives above it. So here's the thing nobody told you. The more you work at it, the more effort, the more gestures, the more careful attention to shift her mood, the more you're doing the thing that's killing it. Because what you've been doing isn't leading, it's managing. And managing does not create attraction. So the word that I want you to know that creates desire between two people that most men have never heard of is polarity. Polarity is the tension between opposites. It's the contrast between your grounded masculine strength and her feminine emotional energy. And that contrast is not a flaw in the system. It is the system. It's what creates the current between two people. And when that contrast is alive, attraction grows. But when it collapses, desire drains. Now, it was there once, the current, the pull, the way she moved toward you. It didn't die. It collapsed under the weight of life getting hard. Think about the man she first fell for. He wasn't trying to manage her. He wasn't carefully monitoring her emotional state, adjusting his behavior accordingly. He had his own direction, his own presence, his own gravity. And he was interested in her. He was fascinated by her. By the way, she felt things he'd never felt. And by the way, her world worked completely differently from his. And she was drawn into that. She couldn't help it. It's the contrast between his groundedness and her emotional world that created a current she wanted to move toward. That's polarity. And yours collapsed. How does it happen? It happens to good men, faithful men, men who love their wives completely. She feels something and she processes it in the way she processes everything, emotionally, out loud, with the full weight of how it lands for her. And without meaning to, you make her wrong for experiencing it that way. Now, it's not out of cruelty, but with the words that come naturally when her emotional world feels like too much. You say things like, just let it go. Just think about something else. Babe, it's not that bad. You're overreacting. Or you go quiet, waiting for it to pass. Or maybe you offer that logical, fast fix and move on. But what you're saying underneath every single one of those moves, even when the words sound kind, is, babe, your feelings are a problem because peace is more important than you. That's what she hears. And her body hears it. And it registers in her body long before she can put words to it. Now, you aren't wrong to want peace. You aren't wrong to feel overwhelmed by her emotional world, because it works completely differently from yours. And no one taught you how to be in it. Those reactions come from being human, not from not loving her. But here's what built up in the accumulation of all those moments. You stopped being the man who was fascinated by her. You became the man who needed her to calm down so he could feel peace. Not because you're a controlling man, because you love her, but the result on her nervous system is the same. When she's not calm, when she's emotional, complicated, hard to read, she becomes your problem. And she can feel that distinction long before she can name it. And something in her that used to reach toward you starts to protect itself instead. The roommate marriage isn't cruelty. It isn't her falling out of love with you. It's polarity collapse. The slow collapse that happens when a man makes peace more important than his woman. And when she feels herself becoming the obstacle standing between him and it. She's not without responsibility here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But a man who changes the climate gives her something to respond to. And there's always hope. Attraction that went quiet is not attraction that died. I've watched it happen in marriages that look completely finished. Women who hadn't reached for their husbands in years. And then something shifted and they reached. Not because he finally said the right thing, and not because he made the right gesture or planned the right weekend, but because he stopped needing her to be different. He stopped making her emotional world a problem he had to manage. He started being present for her, not fixing it, not fleeing it, just staying with her in it. And staying really grounded. No collapsing, no fixing, no fleeing. This is some of the hardest work a man can do. And it's what she needs from you the most. And she can feel that with no explanation. And the minute you can do that, the contrast comes back, the current comes back. Because what collapsed can be rebuilt by the man who stops making her wrong for being a woman and starts being riveted by it. The shift starts with a single recognition. The effort you've been putting in isn't wrong because you love her too little. It's wrong because it's been aimed at the wrong thing. You've been working to manage her emotions, the distance, the tension, when what she actually needed was for you to stop managing and start staying. And that's the first move. And it changes the energy before anything else does. Now, the rest of the map, like how to rebuild what collapsed, how to restore the contrast, how to become the man she can't help but respond to, that's all in the book and the program I built. The roommate marriage isn't your life sentence. It's a signal, and you're the one who can answer it. And that's the strongest move. So if you'd like some help, go ahead and apply for our marriage reboot strategy session. There's a link below. In it, we'll just identify exactly where the current collapsed and what it's going to take to restore it. Click the link so you can love fearlessly.